Hello, everyone. I'm Rob Smith from the In the Black VTF here at T3 Live, and we got volatility back. Unfortunately, it came with some international events we can't be too happy about. We got a plane shot down. We've got talk of more advancing troops from Israel into Gaza. We've got even a rumor of the White House lockdown right now. But we'll see how that goes. For the most part, we got some action to trade, and really we just want to look at the charts. So let's get to the charts so we can take a look at what happened, what we might coming up in the future for tomorrow. All righty, so if we take a look at the SPY here, if you've watched my recent webinars or know how we like to do things here, you'll see here's the Spider S&P, and you'll notice this is 60-minute bars, and why it's important to trade in the direction of the 60-minute bar, because if you do that, you're always going to be at least trying to be on the right side of the market. So we opened this morning, had a nice run, couldn't go to the higher highs, and then the next hour, outside bar, big and red, looking short, a little chop in here, an attempt to recover, and then down, down, and down, and that makes for some nice, real nice shorting here. One of the things that's important that we've been looking at here recently is if you take a look at, oftentimes people confuse the difference between an outside bar and an engulfing bar. And so you'll notice this second 60 today went to slight higher high, but it opened in the range and then went to the lower lows. That's an outside bar as opposed to an engulfing bar. And so what we got today, yesterday, Apple. See the difference? It gaps up. And so the entire, what's called the real body, the entire range gapped above and closed below. That's a bearish engulfing pattern, and that gave us a nice continuation in Apple down in there. And so that's the difference there, and that's some of the themes that we've been looking at. We're starting to get some engulfing patterns. Not the end of the world if we take a look at the longer-term SPY. Came close to the highs and we back off. Still in here a series of higher lows. So not a real debacle yet, certainly a warning shot across the bow, as some people like to say. But coming in this morning, also we had earnings. It's earnings season, and SanDisk really was a beautiful trade. And once again, you'll notice the difference here as the earnings gives it an outside week, but it was bearish engulfing on the month. It gapped up, and so when it started to crater here, goes bearish engulfing on the month, and SanDisk gave a lot of beautiful entries. We like the opening three here. This is what we liked there. Opening three in equilibrium here to either gap and reverse or gap and fall apart, and it certainly did. And then by the end of the day, even after cleaning house, a little chop in here, but after cleaning house here, it even gets inside bar here, the equilibrium, for a little bit of short covering into the bell to maybe scoop up a little bit there on the long side. That also got the stocks going early. Semiconductors, you can see the semiconductor stocks index, that even when the SPY rallied, that the stocks never had a chance. The stocks daily, you can see the 60 here, never had a chance. Goes island, gap up, sit, come down, and never had a chance. And so it's one of the ways you can gauge relative strength. When the market rallies back, if something doesn't, certainly that didn't have much of a chance when that 60 started going red on that second hour of the SPY. Another debacle that we had going on is as much as we had the market down today, we're still seeing heavy sector rotation and day by day, and that's been the way to play it. Today, certainly there's more of a bias to the downside, but we did have our Thursday numbers coming out of natty gas. You can see the UNG getting smoked here, and that gave us some good opportunities, and some of the natty gas names, RRC, get crushed, EQT, see you later. And so that was some more good plays there. Conversely, on the upside, at least early on, we did have strength in the HMOs, and you can see UNH spiking up here. That was nice. Humana, Cigna, and so a bunch of that stuff was good. Cigna actually pulled back, but in the morning we could identify that strength there. So for tomorrow, one of the things we want to kind of let the dust settle a little bit here after what's going on here, to see if there's if the entire market's going to continue to drop, or if there's going to be continued sector rotation. So with those engulfing patterns coming around here, I want to look at this XOP, the energy ETF, and you can see this is an bearish engulfing day today. And that's why whenever you see an inside bar and a gap, you want to be well aware. When people are like, it's up on the day, I'm like, yeah, well, anytime it gaps and it starts dropping in, either upside or downside. So certainly going to be paying attention to that tomorrow. We also have right now IBM and Google earnings just came out. IBM spiked up significantly and came back to about unchanged right now. It might be a little bit down. And the Google earnings came out. Google earnings came through, but it's none of that yee-haw up or down $50-ness that we used to like. It's just kind of coming back up here right now, about 588 last time I checked. So in a nutshell, that's it for the charts. But in a nutshell, for tomorrow, basically we got, it's Friday, so there'll be options expiration. We'll be paying attention to how these earnings play out. These earnings plays of the IBM, the Google, how that affects the overall market. Want to see how things finish off the week. Do people panic out and say, I don't want to be long over the weekend with a lot of news coming out? Or do we go back to our old ways where we just got a bigger dip than we've seen recently, everybody's freaking out, and we just come right back up? So for right now, we just want to see how the dust settles. For overnight activity, as well as the news, how that plays out. And then we'll come back in the morning. We'll see how the dust settles, if there's any strength or continued weakness, watching those engulfing patterns. And I'll be back here in the morning to try and figure it out for us, at least give us a good head start. But that's going to do it for today. I'm Rob Smith from Chicago, home of the In the Black VTF here at T3Live.com. Hope you all have a great night.